I'm John Kovach. I've been a newsman, a sports announcer, and a football coach, but the one constant, since I was old enough to stand next to a stream with my dad, has been fishing. I've waded rapids, stood on slick rocks, hacked through ice, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do, and join me on this journey. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. This Thursday, May 31st. On Saturday, Ryan's Rebels, which is a foundation based in Trumbull, is going to hold its second annual fishing derby at Twin Brooks Park. We caught up with Ryan's parents to talk a little bit about Ryan's Rebels, what the foundation is trying to do, and the tournament that's coming up, plus another event that'll be held later in the fall. Tell us a little bit about Ryan.
So Ryan passed away a few weeks shy of his 4th birthday in December of 2015 after an 18-month battle with neuroblastoma, which is a pediatric cancer. Ryan loved a couple things of, superhero. He loved fishing and loved dressing up in costumes. So we run 2 events each year for our foundation that we started after he passed, and this one in particular is one of our favorites. It's just the kids fishing derby.
And this is open to what ages?
It's up to the age of 14, so we do first, second, and third prize per each age category.
Group.
Each age group. Yeah.
Age group.
Yeah.
And we'll have the age groups listed. That's at han.network. Go to shows Yankee Fisherman, also at TrumbleTimes.com. What do those who wish to compete need to bring? I know there's a $5 suggested donation.
Mm-hmm.
Bring their own tackle.
Bring their own fishing pole. We'll provide everything else. We provide buckets, bait, volunteers on hand to help with baiting and catch and release, to returning the fish back to the pond. We'll provide tape measures as well, and kids run up and we'll have a big board there, the leaderboard.
Leaderboard. So, and it's is it strictly catch and release?
It is.
So it's strictly by length. There's no weighing. It's the longest fish.
Correct.
And we wanted to encourage families to just enjoy each other, to get out, to do things together, to be in nature, to have fun doing something outside. That's what Ryan liked to do.
This is rain or shine, and this is at Twin Brooks Park in Trumbull on Saturday, June 2nd, 9 a.m. to noon. You've got some sponsors who are helping you out?
Yes, Fisherman's World in Norwalk helps with providing some of the bait. We have a couple local businesses here in town that are, make some donations to us to kind of help offset some of our costs. And yeah, it's a $5 suggested donation. We're not turning anybody away. So just come and have fun.
And tell us where the money goes, what the foundation does.
Sure. Our foundation focuses on 2 things. One is with health and nutrition for children in treatment for cancer, as well as also helping some of the families that need monies for alternative medical treatments or unconventional medical treatments. So what we usually have been doing is running meals at, right now through the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, we'll run a meal, which is a healthy, organic, natural food meal for all the patients and families on the oncology floor. So
we spent a lot of time living at the local hospitals between Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Yale, and Sloan in New York City. Over the course of over a year, we lived for weeks to months on end in these different hospitals, and you get so incredibly tired of the very not nutritional hospital food. That's what they're giving the sick children, that's what they're giving the families that are sleeping on the couches 24/7 in these hospital rooms. So we wanted to donate healthy, just much better quality food. So we do that, and we cater for all the families on the oncology floors, and of course the children themselves.
You mentioned you do 2 events each year, and the other involves Ryan's love of dressing in costume. What's that event?
That's a trunk or treat event we held last year for the first, it was our first annual trunk or treat event at Madison Middle School in Trumbull. It was the Sunday before, or the Saturday before Halloween.
So fun.
We had over 1,000 people there. We had characters walking around in costumes, cars handing out candy, decorating their trunks. We gave out prizes for the best decorated trunks. We had Home Depot was there doing crafts with the kids. We had face painters. We had guys with magicians and making balloon animals. So, and that's a free event. We just charged the cars because we had all the candy donated as well. So,
and to tie into our healthy mission, it was all organic candy or non-GMO, no food dyes, just to let the children have fun. The candy really doesn't taste any different. If anything, it's a little bit better tasting. And there's M&Ms and the equivalent of all the different common candies. They just leave out all of the bad things that are not so good for children's health.
So what has driven the focus on organic food, on non-GMO food? What drives that?
So it's just the healthy component. I mean, when a child has cancer or an adult, it's something went wrong in the body. Your immune system should have been able to target it and take care of it. Everyone has cancer cells in their body, these rogue cells, and the immune system should get it. So we want to optimize health and optimize immune systems in children. Part
of it was when we were, Ryan had his second surgery at Memorial Sloan Kettering over New Year's of 2014, 2015. And the first day he was out of the ICU after spending, 10 days, 2 weeks in there, we went into a regular room and the candy cart came around that night. And still tubes out of him. He really couldn't eat any solid food yet, but the candy cart came around with chips and juice boxes,
Skittles and Starbursts.
Yeah, a lot of the food. And we were sitting there wondering, why is this kid just had major abdominal surgery? Why is this stuff any good for him or any of the kids here on the floor? And that's what we started. We made it our mission once we started our foundation to focus on health.
Let kids be happy and healthy and enjoy all the common children traditions, but just try to do it in a little bit of a healthier way. You mentioned that at the second annual Kids Fishing Derby for Ryan's Rebels, which is Saturday, June 2nd, Twin Brooks Park in Trumbull. I saw online you've got a lot of raffles planned. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so we decided to do a little bit of fewer raffles this year, but a little bit bigger prizes. So we have the Sound Sailing Center out of Norwalk is donating a week of sailing summer camp for a child. The Middle Bank Sports Fishing out of Bridgeport is donating a 4-hour charter for a family of 4. Longshore Sailing School is donating some kayak rentals for families.
Those were amazing. We were so happy to get those donations.
So all really family-oriented activities in the raffles this year.
Yes.
What was Ryan's favorite type of fishing?
He loved the snapper fishing at the Fairfield Pier. That's where he really, that's where I think he really fell in love with doing it, fishing off the rocks, fishing off the pier. Snapper fish, when they run here, they're fun to catch. And so that was, he really enjoyed trying to do that. We didn't have much luck some of the times we were out there, but it was still just fun being outside.
Mike, do you fish?
I do, not as often as I want to. When I used to have a boat before I got married, I fished a lot more. But yeah, I love it. I just don't, really, it's tough to find the time.
Well, we'll have to fix that. We'll have to get you out. So again, the second annual Ryan's Rebels Kids Fishing Derby. That is at Twin Brooks Park in Trumbull, Saturday, June 2nd, 9 a.m. to noon. All the information is at Ryan's Rebels on Facebook or at your website, which is
ryansrebels.org.
And I see we've got someone to join.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck with the tournament. Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk about Ryan and talk about Ryan's Rebels.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Winter's finally in the rearview mirror, and the Dock Shop is ready to help you usher in our favorite season, summer. We've got new offerings in our usual products, clothing, jewelry, home decor, fishing tackles, and boating supplies. And now the Dock Shop does in-house laser engraving. You can add a name, a boat name, latitude, longitude, an image to drinkware, serving platters, boards, or decorative accessories. No minimum, fast turnaround. Stop in today and start your summer. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Our Ram trucks get the job done with unparalleled style and performance. Call, click, or stop in to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck that you've been looking for. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Save thousands right now at the Jeep Celebration event and Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales event. Now through May 31st.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. This Memorial Day weekend was a tragic one on the Long Island Sound, as in 2 instances, 3 people are missing and presumed dead. Something awful, something that we have to deal with, something we need to realize is a risk whenever we go out on the water. We have numerous times in the past few years done segments on boating safety, and we're going to revisit some of those. First, let's go over the overall rules. This is at the Fairfield Police Department's Safe Boating Day. We're with Jim Wiltsey of the Fairfield Police Marine Unit, about to become your busy time officer. Explain what the Marine Unit does.
Well, the town of Fairfield has operated and maintained a Marine Unit for over 50 years now, and one of our primary responsibilities is enforcement through education. And we remind boaters what they are required to have and what they should have on board for emergency and safety purposes.
Now, you can board a vessel at any time on the water?
That is correct. On the water, you are required to have things per state and Coast Guard regulations. So by us stopping you, we're checking for safety equipment to make sure you have enough life jackets on board for the amount of people you have. Marine unit officers do not need probable cause to stop you like a patrol officer would on the road with a motor vehicle stop. It's completely different on the water.
Now, you mentioned that you are allowed to stop a boat to make sure boaters have the equipment that they must have. What is it that they must have on the boat by law?
You must have a serviceable life jacket, 1 per person on board. By serviceable, I mean sometimes people buy life jackets and stow them below for many, many years and they become dry rotted. So serviceable means it must properly fit depending on the weight and size of the person. They make life jackets for infants all the way to larger people. You also need a throwable device. By that is a seat cover with a loop on it, or throwable device is a ring buoy. So if someone were to fall overboard, you can throw them the device and they have some way of grabbing onto it. You must have a visual distress signal, i.e. a flare, which is this is actually a pretty fancy flare, a gun flare, or typically I describe them as a road flare to people that don't understand what a handheld flare is. It looks like a road flare.
These are what you would see at the scene of a road closure, a motor vehicle accident, similar to that.
That is correct. And those actually are one of our most useful tools. Many times when we get a distress call on a Saturday afternoon and there's 100 boats in our area of Fairfield, and you call because you broke down or you hit the rocks, and we go out and you tell us you're in a white boat, well, there's 100 other white boats out there. So chances are the Marine Unit officer is going to ask you to pop a flare off. And most of the time, recreational boaters will have a handheld flare. We just identified you and took crucial minutes away from trying to search for you by shooting a flare off. So it's a very useful tool for officers.
Now there's a difference between the handheld flare and the flare that you would require a flare gun for, but they both have dates?
Correct. These flares sit on vessels that are obviously exposed to a lot of moisture. So you always want to check the date. This one was put into service in 2004 and expired in 2007. It will work, but I wouldn't trust it if I was out on the water with my family and I had an emergency. This is a cartridge that you would insert into a gun. This one expires in 2017. These are the cheaper ones, the ones that pretty much everybody has on their boats, recreational boaters. It's just like a road flare. You take the cap off. There's a little piece of, this is sandpaper type material that does disintegrate over time.
This is really not dissimilar to a match.
Correct, and you just put it away from you. And this, like I said, there we go. It took 3 times, but...
And that's why they expire.
This stuff is, yeah, it's already broken down. So if it was an emergency and I was sinking, you want to make sure that you have equipment on board. Like we said, we're going to come out there and save you or rescue you. I'm going to tell you to hold one of these out so I can distinguish your boat from the other 100 boats that are out there.
How far is that visible when you're out on the water if you're searching for a boat?
Well, it's 700 candle power, and it really depends on the conditions. Fog, rain, it depends on the visibility, but if you're out by the lighthouse, which is 1 nautical mile away, and we're standing here on the beach, I'm going to see this.
And you can see why you strike it away from you.
Correct. The other requirements are an audible device.
We've all heard those.
Doesn't have to be a horn, but it has to be, well, if you're, depending on the size of your vessel, you're required to have a horn. Smaller vessels or kayaks need to have a simple whistle, so that if someone's coming your way and they don't see you, you can make noise.
Now, fire extinguisher on a powerboat?
Serviceable fire extinguisher. I said the word serviceable again because we live in Connecticut and you're using your boat 3-4 months a year. The rest of the time is sitting in the driveway or in storage. You have to make sure that the fire extinguisher, the little needle is in the green. Some of your lower fire extinguishers just has a little push pin, kind of like when the turkey's ready at Thanksgiving. If it's popped up, it's time to get a new fire extinguisher. They will lose pressure over many years.
Now there's also equipment that you recommend that boaters have.
Everyone relies on these. Everyone's faces are glued to these. But when you get out in the middle of the sound, these are not reliable. Out in the middle of the sound, you have Connecticut cell phone signals and New York cell phone signals fighting for each other.
And those cell phone signals go to the nearest tower.
Correct.
So you could have your distress call out of Fairfield go to Long Island.
If you're out far enough off of Fairfield waters, 3 nautical miles off our lighthouse, and you call 911, there could be a chance that a Long Island cell phone tower picks that up. Now you're getting hooked into Long Island emergency dispatchers. Then Long Island has to call Connecticut and figure out where you are and try. You can get a handheld VHF for under $100 at a marine supply store. They last a long time, they're waterproof, and you call on channel 16, the Coast Guard's going to hear it, Marine units are going to hear it, fire department's going to hear it, New York is going to hear it. These are a lot more reliable than your cell phone. So for under $100, these are good to have on board.
So really, while it's extensive and it covers all the bases, it's really not all that much that you're forced to carry.
No, absolutely not. We recommend these to all of our boaters. You know, these cell phones, the battery dies, you don't always have a signal. So these are this is your backup. If you have to call for help and this doesn't work, that'll work.
Jim Welty, thanks for explaining boating safety and what the Marine units does. We also paid a visit a couple years ago to Three Bells Marina and talked about paddle boat, kayak safety, and the differences there and what you need. And that is specifically where the tragedies occurred over Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, well, obviously, through June 1st, required to be worn on the kayak, PFD. After June 1st, what's required is that it be in the vessel. So we don't let anyone leave the shop without making sure that they have purchased and they possess a PFD. Other requirement that we like seeing out there is the whistle. Because you're in a kayak, you want to signal that you might be in distress, have someone coming in on you hot. You want to make sure you can signal your presence. I've been out there with my brother who tried signaling a submarine one time. Didn't work so well. Other stuff that we like seeing is the vehicle identification.
We see all the time where an empty kayak washes up that came untied from a dock or what have you.
Yeah, it's just basic common sense and courtesy before we launch these guys at the Coast Guard out in a full-fledged search for us. If you just put it in somewhere where it's visible, basic identification, contact information from someone that can say, hey, guess what, I actually know where he is, the kayak might have just washed away. In case you're not available, saves thousands of dollars in, for the Coast Guard, and saves a lot of heartache and worry. We see this 9 times out of 10, the person is found and was not with the vessel. So we get these out with every boat that leaves the shop as well. So these are what's physically, legally required on a kayak. What we love to see as well is stuff like visibility flags. It's a must. Big boats, big speed, weekend warriors out there in our area on the coast of Connecticut. So flags, stuff like this, which mounts right to your kayak, the Mighty Mount and the gear track system. At night or fog rolls in, you got a light. It's not 100 lumens, but it's right when mounted properly, right at the eyesight of the boats coming in at you. Great safety product. It's probably
that is a great item. It's first I've seen that.
Yeah, it's probably our #1 seller. It's actually made in the States by Yak Attack. It's the VisiCarbon Pro. We absolutely love their stuff. They're at the forefront of developing stuff exclusively for kayak fishing.
That's crucial because obviously you have no power, so you've got no nav lights.
No nav lights. We do have people who put them on.
If you want to wire your kayak, I'm sure that's...
We have guys who, they will light their kayak up like the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. But one light we do like to see is this one right here.
It's not nature half the time.
Sharks,
it's
what are
people in
sharks?
boats that are the most dangerous part out there. And now the thing is yes, in theory, you have right of way. Don't depend on that against a 10,000-pound fishing boat. I mean,
and a guy with a beer.
I mean, a number of things can be going on.
Might as well give him the right of way.
Well, if you have, for example, a commercial boat, and they'll plot a course, they'll just plot it. And then he might go and be helping somebody with his rig. So he might not even be in the wheelhouse. So that's where you have to be the one to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna stay out of the way, and then when you're out there more, you start realizing pathways for different boats. So like, this is a popular pathway. I'm gonna stay away from that today, or on a Sunday afternoon, maybe not the best in the mouth of the Connecticut River as everyone's coming back from Long Island after partying all weekend. So, there's certain areas, like once you're out there enough, you realize, okay, this is kind of a protected bay, this is not a protected bay, and then as you get into more fishing spots, and I try to get into bays that have less traffic, all the time just because it's easier. So, that's the first thing we want you to know about being out there is the safety of it all. We always have a whistle and I have a compass on me because even if you have a GPS and your fish finder, that can either short out on you. You can lose battery life. So if you get in the fog, I like to have the compass on me. So if I'm on the Connecticut River, I'll know, okay, this is east, that's west, that's the shore, that's the shore. Or even out in the Sound, because you can get turned around really, really quickly in the fog. So, or I've had times for myself where I've sat in the parking lot, waited for the fog to roll out. I'm like, yes, going out. I get out there and all of a sudden, I was like, oh man. So it's always good to have that direction on you, like where you're going.
We were just at Montauk for a couple of days and they had some haze out there. And we rolled in, and
Yeah.
rolled back out, and we were at the beach, and towards the end of the day, rolled back in.
Yeah.
I said, man,
And then there's that with a whistle, and of course the VHF radio is probably a pretty important part of everything too, because then you have the Coast Guard channel, but you can have everything from weather, and then when you're out with friends, and you'll see today we'll have you alter it into the same frequency, and then if there's any kind of separation, any problem, anyone has a leg cramp, anything, you know, then we can be in touch and make sure everybody's good.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Winter's finally in the rearview mirror, and the Dock Shop is ready to help you usher in our favorite season, summer. We've got new offerings in our usual products: clothing, jewelry, home decor, fishing tackles, and boating supplies. And now the Dock Shop does in-house laser engraving. You can add a name, a boat name, latitude, longitude, an image to drinkware, serving platters, boards, or decorative accessories. No minimum, fast turnaround. Stop in today and start your summer. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Real quick, we did that safety segment because we feel it's important, and word just coming across lowhud.com as we were coming on the air that 2 teenagers were rescued off of New Rochelle after their kayaks capsized Wednesday afternoon. Deerfield Spay Day is Saturday. That is from 9 a.m. to 3:30. That's at the Zor picnic area in Charlemont, Massachusetts. It's beautiful up there. If you can get there, get there. I wish I could. It's 9 a.m. to 3:30. Again, the Zor picnic area, and you can find information, Deerfield Spay and Fishing Day. That is on Facebook, and that is to benefit Real Recovery, which helps men with cancer through fly fishing. And the Pequest Trout Hatchery and Sportsman's Flea Market, the open house at the hatchery and the flea market, that is Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is going to do it for this week's Yankee Fisherman. We will see you next week. Get out there this weekend. Tight lines.